So here's my triplet birth story. My due date was December 11th, and with triplets, they don't let you go to your due date. At least I haven't heard of any triplets making it to their due date. My doctor had scheduled a C-section for 36 weeks, somewhere around there, which is really far along for a triplet pregnancy. I was doing really good up until 32 weeks, and then I just started to get more and more swollen each day. And around 33 weeks, it started to be really painful. And later that week, I called my doctor and told her how I didn't think I was going to make it to the 36 weeks and asked her if she could move up my C-section. And she told me if it had gotten to the point where it was painful that I should go into labor and delivery. So I went into labor and delivery thinking they were just going to check me out and send me home. But they ended up admitting me, and they wanted to do a 24-hour urine test to see if I was preeclamptic. So we stayed overnight, but we didn't have our bags packed or anything. So they did the 24-hour urine test, and the next day they were like, you are preeclamptic. And this was Saturday when they were telling me this. They're like, you are preeclamptic, but we're going to wait until Monday to have your C-section, which was actually Halloween. So we thought we were going to have some Halloween babies because that's the next time my doctor was going to be at work. So my husband went home to pack the hospital bags because we hadn't packed them yet. And while he was at home packing the bags, I got up to go to the bathroom, and my water broke, or one of my waters broke. The nurses came in and they were like, yeah, since your water broke, we're going to have them today. So at first she told me we had a few hours. I called my husband. I was like, hey, you got to get back. We're having these babies today, but we have a while. So I called my husband and told him we were having them today, and he was at home. He had to finish packing and everything. And then another nurse comes in just a little bit later, and it's probably about 6 o'clock. And she's like, we're going to have these babies at 7 o'clock because that's when the shift changes. We don't have enough people without the shift change. So I immediately called my husband, told him to hurry back. He barely made it back in time because he had to finish packing the bags, and with Austin traffic and everything, he pretty much got back. They got him dressed to go into the C-section room, and then they started. And Addison was born at 7:28. Kendall was born at 7:29, and Haley was born at 7:30. The C-section went pretty smooth for the most part. At first, when they took Haley out, she didn't cry immediately, so I was a little nervous, but after a minute or two, she started crying. Addison weighed 4 pounds 15 ounces, Kendall weighed 4 pounds 13 ounces, and Haley weighed 4 pounds 5 ounces. And then I did have 3 placentas and 3 sacs. One of the nurses actually told me that they took 30 pounds out of my stomach. And that was after one of my waters broke and so much water came out. So I definitely had a lot of weight in my belly. And there was probably seriously 50 people in the room with us during our C-section because they needed all of the NICU nurses. I think they needed 4 NICU nurses for each baby. And then I had 2 doctors, and they had all the nurses for me and the anesthesiologist. And I think just some other people were in there too. But right after they took the babies out, they immediately took them to the NICU, and my husband went with them and a bunch of nurses and everything. And then it was just me and a few doctors left. Then I started to feel like I needed to throw up, so I was just dry heaving while they were sewing me up. And I did lose a lot of blood during my C-section, so I had to get a transfusion after. But overall, everything went pretty well for having 3 babies. And yeah, that's the story.